Hey guys, this is Alisha Costanzo and welcome back to my channel. Today I am going to be doing the Thanksgiving book tag created by Erin and Becca, two cute little squirts that I saw on YouTube that created this tag. So they have 10 questions that are Thanksgiving themed, and I have some actual physical books to share with you for once. My background is horrible. Sorry guys, but this is my office. This is the real thing. Yeah. Alright, question number 1. Bread. What book is purely fluff and has no real plot line? I do not have either of these physically with me because the one that I used to have, I got rid of real quick. I had to read it for school. It was called Smack by Melvin Burgess, and it was pretty much about these teens who got addicted to heroin, I believe is what Smack is. And it was really boring. It was mostly, I got high. I wasn't high. I wanted to get high. So I got high and I did some stuff to get high. And like there was, I don't know. I have read other books that have talked about drug abuse as, you know, to essentially show how it's going to ruin somebody's life. Do it much better. Yeah, there was no plot line. Oh, I just thought of another one. Do I have it? Hold on. Okay. I have it somewhere, but it's in my buried books. H.G. Wells' The War of the Worlds. A lot of people really like the book. It is somewhat of a classic. I had to read it for school so long ago. And essentially the story is, I almost died. I ran for my life. I came across a dead body. I met some people. I almost died. I ran for my life. I came across a dead body. I met some people. That over and over and over again until magically the aliens died at the end. It was, I didn't like it. There was no real plot to it. And the last one is The Air by Kira Cass. This is number 4 in the selection series. And although I kind of enjoyed it, I think I gave it a 3 just because there were some interesting characters. There was no real plot. My cat's in heat, by the way, if you couldn't tell by the trilling that's going on that way. Yay for having 4 cats. Alright, those are my 3 for bread. Fluff, no plot. Number 2 is Turkey. What book made you want to fall asleep? My husband recommended it to me. I enjoyed parts of it, but most of the time I just wanted to... Can we get to the point, please? There was a plot though. There were interesting characters. It was just a lot of extra bullshit I really didn't need. Blood Ring by Faith Hunter. This is actually, the sequel of this is on my punishments jar piece of paper for next year's book games, TBR games. Number 3 is Gravy. What book makes the whole series worth reading? Okay, I'm gonna have to unbury some books here. This one is a chunker. Ashron by Sherilyn Kenyon. This thing, I mean, let's hold this up next to my face, is a big ass book. It's like 800 or 900 pages. It's almost the biggest book that I have. It's 700 pages. 728. And I don't even know what number this is amongst them all, but it's and I got it signed. Because I did. Book number 14 in the series. And the series is the Dark Hunter series. It's a paranormal romance. Vampires before vampires were, like, big. She doesn't really call them vampires. I don't remember what she calls them, though. Oh, God. But this is, like, the main badass dude, god, king person who's, like, connected to everything else in the series. This is his creation story. And half of it's in the past and half of it's in the present where he gets his own romance. But this dude had a fucked up life. Talk about being cursed from birth. Which is literally true. He was cursed from birth. It's not a spoiler. That's pretty well known through the series. Anyways, this is also the book that we named our big fat gray kitty that died in April after Ashron. Ash. Yeah. That's how much we love the book that we named one of our cats after it. So, definitely worth the rest of the series. Unfortunately, one of the ones that came shortly after it, which was Dev's I Think It's No Mercy, made me stop reading the series. But that's more of a personal thing because I used to roleplay Dev as a character, and my Dev was much different than the one in the book, so I just kind of like lost interest after that a bit. I didn't like the romance that was in there. That's mostly my fault. Seemed kind of forced though. Anyways, number 4 Stuffing. What book is stuffed full of action scenes? And I do not have this book with me, but I just listened to it / read it, and that is Nevernight by Jay Kristoff. Holy shit. It was just like consistently, goddamn cats. It was consistently things happening, things in the plot moving forward. Not even always fighting, but just movement, tension built all the time. It was a great book. I really, really enjoyed it. Number 5, mashed potatoes. What book looked great and then wasn't? I have 2. Again, I don't have them with me. They are recent reads. One was Mr. Marshall's Method by Jessa York. It was a teacher-student relationship in which the teacher was really young and the student was nearly 18. So, like, I didn't have too many issues with that type of relationship. However, it was very stock, what I've read a million times, not well done rehash type of thing. So, and the cover's beautiful, by the way. The cover is beautiful. Right. And the other one was The King of Lies. Again, I really liked the cover. Not necessarily beautiful, but pretty on point for the genre. And it was a dark romance of her husband, this woman's husband, kidnapping her. And great introduction. The first half of the book was pretty nice, but from there. And I just reviewed it last month in my October wrap-up because I read it last month. So if you want to know a little bit more about that story, please feel free to go watch that video. I'll link it wherever. It'll be here somewhere. Okay, number 6, Cranberries. What book has the sweetest romance? And I have one that was a read this year. It was one of my 10-chapter challenge books that I actually finished, and that is Take a Chance on Me, or by Becky Wade. And it was a Christian romance with this cute military girl who they had a thing where they kissed and they were like starting to date with each other. He's been trying to get her for a long time, but then didn't tell her something really important, and it fucked up the whole romance, and he has to fix it all. And it's a novella. It's a prequel kind of to the rest of the series. Freebie intro. I really enjoyed it. So it was like super cute, super soft romance. Very different from what I normally read. So yes, and I'm like overexposed over here. I'm trying to use the hair to help. I'm uber white. I'm sorry that I glow in the dark and in the sun and blind people. It's not my fault. Number 7, Corn. What was the corniest book you've ever read? Oh, there are so many. Guys, if you read a paranormal book in the 90s, in the early 2000s, it was corny. And I have a few here for you. Like Hush Hush. Becca Fitzpatrick. Super corny. Kind of liked it. It was entertaining for what it was. Although this is one of my next answers. This one had a super corny romance in it too. Wicked Lovely by Melissa Marr. Corny. Who Are You by? Evermore by Alyssa Noel. Corny. Red Queen. Victoria, how do you say that? Aveyard. Corny. Okay. We're getting there. You'll see. You saw the theme, right? You saw the theme. Okay. So number 8 is Green Beans. What book took too long and it needs to be shortened? I couldn't find the one that I always talk about when I talk about this because it's the longest book that I've read and it was way too long, and that is Outlander. But I do have others. Here's a recent read. I actually listened to it on audiobook, but I knew that I owned it. And it is The Way of Shadows by Brent Weeks. Took way too long. Like, there could have been a lot of just extra bullshit taken out of that. There was some editing needed there. A Discovery of Witches, Deborah Harkness. Way too long. Super corny. Needed an editor. Things just, it didn't. Could have used some paring down. And one that I read earlier this year, which was Sin Eater. And there's a lot of books named Sin Eater out there, but this is Elizabeth Macy. It is a 90s horror gothic book, and just parts of it took too long to get there. Like, I was interested, and then you start talking about some bullshit, and then it slowed down, and then, we could have tightened it up a little bit. Number 9, Pumpkin Pie. I need to make a pumpkin pie. I just made chocolate cake, but I need to make a pumpkin pie. I'm just saying. I have pumpkin, so. And I'm not talking about my cat Pumpkin, so we're clear there. It's Pumpkin Pie What book do you read to get out of a reading slump? Or did I? It says, do you read? I don't typically reread books, so recently the one that got me out of my reading slump this year was Trashy Foreplay by Gemma James. After that I just it sucked me through it in a day and a half. I think I read that book, which I mean it was a short book, but I hadn't read like that in so long, and then it kind of sparked that fire for me. And now it's Megan March. Is like anytime that I feel like I'm reading slowly, I read one of her books and just like that. And yeah, and I'm back into reading again. Okay, and the last question is dog/cat. I'm gonna go with cat because I had 4. What's your favorite Thanksgiving food that you would steal from the table? So there's 2. It really depends on whose Thanksgiving I'm going to, first of all. But if it's my table, it would have to be either the stuffed mushrooms or the cranberry sauce. I fucking love cranberry sauce. From the can, the jelly stuff. I will put it on everything. I love cranberry sauce. I'm a weirdo. I like sour things. Yeah. It's just how that is. And if it is my family, like my family back home in New York family, my mama's apple pie. Because no matter how many times I make apple pie, it is never the same as my mama's. And she usually has to bring 2 or 3 to an event because people will just gobble it up. Because it is the most coveted thing at our Thanksgiving. Mama's apple pie. So, Mama can't cook, but she can bake like a monster. Alright, that is my Thanksgiving tag. Thank you, Erin and Becca, for this wonderful tag. Please let me know the answers to these questions for you guys in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and I will see you guys next time. Bye!